patronage!
The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
a new challenger.
What are we going to see transpire between these fighters? No one knows, but this is going to be a must-see match. All right, first round. What's going to happen? Finds the time to squeeze in a buff. Puts one in the pocket. It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? The low kick connects. Picks up some damage with a long reaching attack. Ooh, will they hit, whiff, or even charge in? Tricky territory here. Checking how their opponent reacts to fireballs. Trying to control their opponent here from a distance. Knockdown. Does a good job of pushing back. In a dire situation, they can't afford to add a little super juice into this combo for more damage. And the throw ends the round. Player 2 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with? How will they take advantage of everything that's happened up until now? They hit each other. Still slugging it out at this range. Player 2 is in a pretty experiencing burnout. Player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. In with the crosser. Low heavy, but no go. Yo, put that away. Noticeable life lead. Is a comeback still possible? A fireball at that range? Player 2 is a force to be reckoned.
We currently have a player on a winning streak.
comes a new challenger.
This isn't about just winning the match. Pride and bragging rights are at stake here.
Ready?
Both fighters will need to bring their A game to the table. The fight's now underway. This is Vicious with the play-by-play. Tries to bait him with the projectile. Any developments early in the round will set the table for the rest of the fight. Ooh, will they hit, whiff, or even charge in? Tricky territory here. Knockdown. Oh, whiffs the throw. Throws him down. Player 2 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Both sides backing off to form their game plan. Throws him. What's next? What's their game plan here at this critical stage? One combo can end this round right now. Shows the medium kick. Gets the jump KO. Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Charges forward. Who's going to start things off? The attack is paired. Jinrai kick for a mix-up. Risky up-close scrap still going. Pokes with a medium kick. Ooh, snap kick sends him spinning. Player 2 uses the gauge for a super arm. Are they dead off this super? It's too close to call. They're not dead. This fight's not over. Their will to win is really being tested here. KO! That's what happens when you capitalize on all of your chances.
We currently have a player on a winning streak.
comes a new challenger.
How's this match gonna shake out? It's gonna be exciting to see.
Ready?
Round one. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Still slugging it out here. The low is denied. Overhead takes a trip. Big gap between the two fighters, so they throw out a fireball. There's space to make something happen here, and neither fighter looks willing to back down. Finishes with the overhead. Nicely read. Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Player 1 kept their drive gauge topped off through that round and still took the win. Guess they didn't need it. They break things off to take a quick breather. A good chance here to recover the drive gauge or figure out the next step. Both fighters have plenty of drive to work with, but how they make their approach will be key. It'll be interesting to see how both players utilize their drive gauge to dictate the terms of the match. Jinrai kick for a mix-up. Shows the medium kick. The throw missed. Now overhead attack. Turning it right up with a super. Oh, we're going full third strike with a callback Hyokusen. Get out of nowhere. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point.
Final round. Fight!
Checking with the fire. How will they react? Clutch, anti-air. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Smart stuff, poking at that range to zone the opponent. Blocks it. Throws him. Big throws. Knocks him out of the air. They just said, get that jump in out of here. Presses for a reaction with a fireball. A jump? The low. Amazing. Jumps. Overhead. The low kick hits. Gets the corner switch. Oh, yo! Raw super hit. Excellent read. Hazanshu sees the overhead coming. Oh, he draws super hard incoming. Goes all out with the super arm. They are done. Player 1 really had to fight for that one. No shortage of drama. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Pokes with a medium kick. Shoots off a fireball up close. Fireballs are risky, but if the opponent doesn't jump, they're one of the best ground game tools. Still slugging it out here. Combo with the target combo. Low heavy hits. Mix up incoming. Uses a long-range attack there to zone them perfectly. Nails the anti-air. They don't need to go for anything big. Even a light tap could win this round. Shoryuken? Both fighters are barely hanging in there. They were not cleared for takeoff. Player 2 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Hits with the overhead. Still very early in the round. They're still feeling each other out. Taking stock. You've got to be mindful of reach and jump-ins at this range. Looks like they want to put a new spin on things with that fireball. You know their fireball game is solid because they're only throwing it when their opponent can't jump. Jinrai kick for a mix-up. Time's the only thing moving here. That's a counter. Sends the bar out of Kikosho. The super doesn't hit. Still slugging it out after they're going for the super arc. All in with the rush. Just goes for it at this range. Are we gonna see a comeback here? Pokes with the medium. Were they looking to connect with an overcut fireball at that range? Player 2 gets the win in a convincing fashion. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Gets the jump in. The throw connects for counter hit damage. Player 2 has the life lead. Can they exploit this advantage? What a clutch side switch there. Now they need to capitalize on this chance. The low doesn't connect. So they break forward to pressure the opponent. Life lead opens up. Getsu. Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Was looking for that jump attack. Goes for a projectile to try and change the pace. Fireballs are risky, but if the opponent doesn't jump, they're one of the best ground game tools. Things are slow going right now, but we may see someone speed things up soon. They're waiting for the opportunity to bust this match wide open. Still scrapping for control of the space. Pops him with a shorty. Shows a medium kick. Baits out the low kick. Connects with medium kick. Nothing stops this train. Player, can this drive bring them back? Yo, are they actually dead?
Sit down and shut up!
Flatline zone. Player 2 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Nervous?
The featured player's win streak has been stopped. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Boy, have we got just the event for you.
The featured player's win streak has been stopped. player's win streak has been stopped. Streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
You don't want to miss this event.
The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. patronage! The featured player's win streak has been stopped. Welcome! Manny Rose here. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player.
Spinning bird kick. Spinning bird kick.
We currently have a
Hadouken!
player on a winning streak.
Hadouken! Hadouken!
We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Somersault! Somersault!
We currently have a player on a winning streak.
uppercut.
We
10-3.
currently have a player on a winning streak.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here it is.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Hadouken.
Eat it.
We currently have a player
Eat
on
it!
a winning streak.
Eat it. Here it comes. Eat it.
Hadouken.
Shoryuken. Spinning bird kick.
We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Somersault.
Spinning bird kick.
The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We
10-3.
currently have a player on a winning streak.
Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Rising uppercut. Rising uppercut. 10-3.
The
Here it
featured
comes.
player's win streak has been
Here
stopped.
it comes. Somersault. Spinning bird kick. Hadouken. Hadouken.
We currently have a
Hadouken.
player on a winning streak.
Hadouken! 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 Somersault! Hadouken!
We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. Have a player on a winning streak.
That felt good, didn't it? What a waste of time.
We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. currently have a player on a winning streak.
Here comes a new challenger.
We're see a mirror match go down where they can match each other move for move. This the fight's now underway. This is Vicious with the play-by-play. Opts for the throw. Steps in for the throw. Tries to get a breather with a projectile. Uncomfortable space here. Can they clip each other on the edge? Both sides have full drive and plenty of health. Let's see how things open up. It'll be interesting to see how both players utilize their drive gauge to dictate the terms of the match. Player one can't let their drive gauge run out. They need to find a way to reset the situation. If they can't escape this rock-solid corner pressure, this round is over. Great work finding the opening. Life lead open, fires off. What a finish. Great lead in the life gauge there. Player two on the board first with a win. They'll want to keep the pressure on. Now, can they finish the job? The jump in catches them. Player two spent the super art to take the last round, but how will they handle the meter deficit? Drive gauge gap here. Shinku Hadouken! A quick breather. Player one can build off, fires off the Shinku Hadouken. Knockdown and player two will look to apply pressure here. Still slugging it out at this range. Both fighters planning something, gets the counter hit for the win. They're so good at whiff punishing. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point. Attempts to break the stalemate with a fireball. Very slick with the combo. Player one has the super gauge advantage. What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Looking for a clutch anti-air. Drops him hard. Wow, reads the counterattack. What's this Shinku Hadouken? Closes it out. Player two showed they are truly the best of the best.
We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
This sublime. Comes a new challenger.
This is a mirror match, which means it's not just about the win, but about your pride as a player too. This is a must-win fight. Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Tries to bait him with the projectile. Corner switch means they can now go on the offensive. Does not want to get stuck in the corner. It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? Player two has them legit shook in the corner. Goes for the low kick. Picks up some damage with a long reaching attack. Still slugging it out here. Fireball from very long range. What's next here? Oh! Somehow pushes back all the way to center. Adds a little super juice into this combo for more damage. Life lead opens up. Here near the end of the round. Can either fighter pull a rabbit out of their hat here? Jumps in! Alright, what's coming up next? Player 1 needs to hold out until their drive gauge recovers. There's the change of sides. What'll happen here? Player 1, the low heavy connected? Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Anti-air drops him. Are we going to see some fireworks here? Projectile to try and change the situation. You know their fireball game is solid because they're only throwing it when their opponent can't jump them. Player 2 will look to apply pressure here. They gotta be careful not to overextend or their opponent might go for a side switch. A quick breather. Still slugging it out at this range. This is a turning point. A super art? KO! Player 2 is the last fighter standing.
We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Rising uppercut.
The featured player's winning streak has been stopped.
Spinning bird kick. Spinning bird kick.
We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player. We currently have a player. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Spinning bird kick.
We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Spinning bird kick.
We currently have a player on a winning streak.
Welcome! Manny Rose here.
The featured player's win streak has been stopped. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak
Eat
has
it!
been stopped.
Eat it! Eat it!
We currently have a player on a winning streak.